Chapter 9. Develop your purpose. Peak performance. Rendimiento máximo. In this chapter, you develop your purpose. This process is inspired by the original on-purpose mobile application developed by Victor Stretcher, PhD. We thank Stretcher not only for helping us find our purpose, but also for giving us permission to use his process to help you find yours. For more on Stretcher's approach, visit www.jolthealth.com. If you already have one, consider this an opportunity to fine-tune and reaffirm it. After homing in on your purpose, you'll learn some simple ways to weave it into your day, ensuring that you live in alignment with it and harness its performance-enhancing power. But before we dive right in, it is important to dispel a few common misconceptions. You need not be religious or even spiritual to have a purpose. Purpose isn't a mystical endeavor, as you are about to find out. The process of creating a purpose is based upon rational reflection. It is okay to have more than one purpose. For example, in the previous chapter, we shared with you our purpose for writing this book, but we also have additional purposes that apply to other areas of our lives. It is also okay to have only one purpose. Some people have one purpose that cuts across everything they do. For example, to serve and honor my God by being the best person I can be every day. To bring positive energy to everything I do and to share that energy with everyone I interact with. To pause and reflect on how my actions prior to acting will impact others. No one is stopping you from having a self-centered purpose, but as you read in the previous chapter, self-transcending purposes not only make the world a better place, they also enhance your performance. So, while it is not a requirement, we encourage you to find a way to apply your strengths to something greater than yourself. Your purpose can change over time. As a matter of fact, it should. Perhaps the only constant in life is change. Revisit this process as often as you like. Developing an initial draft of your purpose should take about 15 to 20 minutes, and we suggest doing it in one sitting. While we strongly recommend everyone go through this process, admittedly Brad and Steve, don't love it when books include activities like this, but we guarantee this one is worthwhile. If you are certain you've already honed your purpose, you can skip ahead to page 185, where we discuss how you can best harness its performance-enhancing power. Select your core values. Core values are your fundamental beliefs and guiding principles. They are these things that matter most to you, and they help dictate your behavior and actions. Select up to 5 core values from the list that follows. This list isn't comprehensive, so if something comes to mind that you don't see here, go ahead and use it. Achievement, commitment, community, consistency, courage, creativity. Okay. Select your core values. Core values are fundamental beliefs and guiding principles. Core values are fundamental beliefs and guiding principles. They are the things that matter most to you, and they help dictate your behavior and actions. They are the things that matter most to you, and they help dictate your behavior and actions. Select up to 5 core values from the list that follows. This isn't comprehensive, so if something comes to mind that you don't see here, go ahead and use it. Achievement, commitment, community, consistency, courage, creativity, education, efficiency, enjoyment, enthusiasm, expertise, honesty, independence, inspiration, kindness, loyalty, motivation, optimism, positivity, pragmatism, relationships, responsibility, security, self-control, spirituality, tradition, reliability, reputation, vitality. For example, when developing our purpose for writing this book, we select the following core values: community, creativity, enjoyment, expertise, relationships. Personalize your core values. For each core value that you selected, write a sentence or two that customizes it, making it more personal to you. Here's how we customize the core values underlying our decisions to write this book. Community. Help readers get more out of themselves and enjoy the process of doing so. Creativity. Unify disparate ideas from across domains in a way that is meaningful and insightful. Enjoyment. Have fun. We love to learn, and we love the challenge of communicating. So we should keep that in mind and relish in it. If we enjoy the process of writing, we're likely to do a better job at it. Expertise. Gain knowledge in a subject area that we are both passionate about, health and human performance. Apply what we learn in our own lives and share this knowledge with readers so they too can apply it in theirs. Relationships. Take advantage of this opportunity to develop relationships with interesting people whom we can continue to interact with and learn from, well beyond the process of writing this book. Rank your core values. Here comes the hard part. Now that you've personalized your core values, rank them, with the first being the most deeply held value, the most important. For example, our ranking looks like this. Creativity, community, relationships, expertise, enjoyment. Write your purpose statement. Congratulations, you've selected and reflected upon your core values. Now you're primed to write your purpose statements. Your purpose statement should reflect your customized core values and should be anywhere from 1 to 3 sentences. Here are a few examples. Help people discover how they can get the most out of themselves in a healthy and sustainable way and prevent the next case of burnout, dissatisfaction, and unhappiness. Be ready for someone when they need me, because I've had so much help and love from other people when I needed them. Because I've had so much help and love from other people when I needed them. Give the children in my school a clean building. Study and understand nature, then give this knowledge to others. Be more engaged with my partner. Be the best athlete that I can be so that others are inspired to push their own limits. Make beautiful art that makes people smile, cry, connect to one another, and connect to the earth. Harnessing the power of your purpose. Hope that you found that the process for developing a purpose as valuable as we did. It is okay if you aren't certain. If you aren't certain that you came up with the perfect purpose. As a matter of fact, even if you feel like you did, we encourage you to revisit this purpose and the process that led you to it. The next time you pick up this book, refinement is always encouraged, especially early on. Soon enough, however, you should feel comfortable that your purpose is accurate. That is to say, it reflects who you are and who you want to be in. Now it is time to put your purpose to use. What follows are practical ways for you to systematically remind yourself of your purpose and harness its power. As you're about to read, nothing that we suggest is too hard or time-consuming. In total, these tips should add no more than 3 minutes to your day. But these simple ways to weave purpose into your life pay large dividends. They are designed to make you a healthier, happier, and better person. And while the last sentence sounds like it is born out of the self-help canon, you'll soon see that it is actually born out of science. Visual cues. Write down your purpose and strategically stick it in places where you are likely to need a boost. Write down your purpose and strategically stick in places where you are likely to need a boost. This way, when the going gets tough, your purpose is right there to remind you why you are working so hard. As we discussed in the previous chapter, research shows that reflecting on your core values and purpose literally changes your brain in ways conducive to overcoming fear and increasing motivation and grit. Even if you only glance at your purpose for a split second, perhaps not even fully processing it, simply having it within your visual field can help. Studies show that non-conscious visual cues, those that we don't fully process, can alter the perception of effort, making something that is objectively hard feel easier. As we mentioned in the previous chapter, consciously engaging with your purpose, even for just a few seconds, can have a profound effect on your brain and subsequent motivation. Here are a few examples of how great performers strategically use visual cues to remind themselves of their purpose when they are likely to need it most. 4 bullet points. Bullet point number 1. A professional bike racer puts his purpose on the handlers of his bike. Whenever the pace and associated pain picks up, his natural inclination is to drop his head and look down. Every time he does that, he'll be looking at his purpose, to inspire other people to get out of their comfort zones and live life to its fullest. And then he'll proceed to push a bit harder and endure a bit more suffering. Bullet point number 2. A middle manager at a healthcare company often gets frustrated when frontline staff call her with what she thinks are stupid questions about a report her department publishes. She notices herself being short on the phone and at times even ignoring calls altogether. She writes her job-specific purpose to make a difference in the lives of other human beings on a sticky note that she sticks to her phone. This way, whenever the phone rings, she connects questions about the report, however trivial they may seem, to the report's ultimate purpose, improving patient care. Now, every time the phone rings, she'll be reminded that providing a thoughtful and correct answer is an input to helping sick people heal, to making a difference in the lives of other people. Bullet point number 3. An artist created a world art version of the purpose and blew it up, but she didn't post it in the studio. She posted it in her office. As you heard earlier, the hardest part about the job for many artists is that the non-art staff having her purpose in her office reminds her of why she puts up with all the extraneous crap, so she can make beautiful art that most people. Bullet point number 4. We, Stephen Brad, put our purpose on our computers. Whenever we sat down to write, we were reminded of why we were working. We are confident that you are reading a better book because of this. As a matter of fact, without our purpose, we aren't even sure if we would have written this book to begin with. Going part-time in our more traditional jobs to write a book was scary. Our private setup was much safer financially, but we weren't helping people discover how they can get the most out of themselves in a healthy and sustainable way, and preventing them the next case of burnout, dissatisfaction, and unhappiness. This little reminder gave us the courage and confidence to write on. Hopefully these examples can help you think of the perfect places to tackle with your purpose, places where you may need a little extra courage to overcome fear or a boost in motivation to endure. The key is that your purpose is somewhere that you're likely to look during challenges. We also recommend sticking your purpose on your bathroom mirror. This serves as a nice way to mark the start of your day and helps you get the most out of it. Self-talk. Merriam-Webster's dictionary defines mantra in a few ways. The most common definition is a word or phrase that is repeated often or that expresses someone's basic beliefs. The other definition is a mystical formula for innovation. An invocation, meanwhile, is defined as the action of invoking something or someone for assistance. The summoning of the supernatural. We put all this together. Our working definition of mantra becomes repeating a word or phrase that matters and that has seemingly mystical and supernatural powers. It seems that a purpose is a perfect mantra. A purpose is a statement that not only matters, but that matters most. And as you learned in the previous chapter, purpose holds a range of seemingly mystical and supernatural powers, from increasing courage and overcoming fear to providing endurance in even the toughest of circumstances. It could come as no surprise then that using our purpose as a mantra during self-talk, repeating it in our heads, can have significant performance-enhancing effects. There is widespread evidence that self-talk boosts performance. In particular, studies show that self-talk increases motivation and willingness to endure uncomfortable situations. Self-talk is most effective when what we tell ourselves is short, specific, and most important, consistent. Thus, if your purpose is on the lengthy side, when using it as a self-talk strategy, you may want to condense into a few words that capture its essence. Self-talk is especially helpful in situations when our bodies and our minds are telling us to quit, but we want to keep on. It helps us keep our cool and avoid amygdala hijack, or the emotional takeover of the brain that we discussed in Chapter 4, and especially if the content of self-talk reflects a transcending purpose. It can empower us to do more than we are thought possible. As you might imagine, this strategy is quite common in athletics. Every athlete with whom we spoke in the process of writing this book told us that they use self-talk during the final few miles of a marathon. For example, Olympic marathoner Desiree Linder tells us that self-talk is as, if no more, important as a hydration. But self-talk is a strategy that can be lifted out of athletics and put to great use in other fields too. Regardless of what you are doing, whether you are using your body, mind, or soul, repeating a purpose-driven mantra during times of fear, pain, or apprehension can yield big benefits. Doing so grounds us, attenuates negative emotions, and quiets our ego, which, as you learn in Chapter 8, loves nothing more than telling us to quit. Although Merriam-Webster Dictionary may define the benefits of a mantra as mystical, by now you should know they are actually quite scientific. Nightly reflection. During the discussion of visual cues, we recommend that you stick your purpose on your bathroom mirror so you see every morning to start your day. Coming full circle, we also think it's a good idea to reflect on your purpose every night. In particular, we encourage you to ask yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being completely and 1 being not at all. Did you live today with purpose? After making your ranking, spend just a minute or two reflecting on what you could have done differently to move closer to a 10. If you gave yourself a 10, reflect on what you did to get there. This short and simple act goes a long way toward helping you make the changes necessary to live in fuller alignment with your purpose, which, as you already know, improves performance in just about everything. While it is fine to go through this exercise in your head, research suggests that physically writing these reflections down enhances not only your performance, but also your health. Expressive writing, a type of journaling that involves exploring issues that are integral and fundamental to our lives, has been shown to strengthen the cells in our immune system. In addition, expressive writing is associated with declining in depression and anxiety. Reduces blood pressure, fewer visits to the doctor, improved lung and liver function, and increases in positivity and social connectedness. Scientists speculate that expressive writing yields such profound results because it gives us a safe space to reflect on the issues that are most important to us. Many of us otherwise inhibit these thoughts and feelings, keeping them to ourselves. But as anyone who has kept deep feelings bottled up inside knows, doing so can cause a great deal of tension. Yet, at the same time, sharing them with others can also be a less than comfortable experience. By letting them words that reflect our deepest values and emotions pour onto the page, we release tension, and in doing so, improve our health. In the words of the University of Texas of Austin Professor Jen Baker, PhD, a pioneer of expressive writing research, standing back up every now and then and evaluating where you are in lifetime is really important. If anything epitomizes Baker's definition of expressive writing, is when we reflect on our purpose in an effort to determine how closely we live in accordance with it. A purpose-driven life. A purpose-driven life. What reminded yourself of your purpose yields big benefits. What we really want is for you to act on it. There is nothing that enhances performance, vitality, and health like living on purpose. You get only one thing out of this book. We hope is this. Once you've developed purpose, do whatever it is you can to build a life that allows you to fulfill it. The closer you can move to a 10, living completely in alignment with your purpose, the better, happier, and healthier you'll be. In the words of Ryan Hall, the fastest American marathon runner of all time, living out your purpose is the best feeling of the world in the world. Conclusion. There is nothing more gratifying to fulfilling than setting a goal on the outer boundaries of what we think is possible, then systematically pursuing it in a paradoxical twist. We are often at our best when we wholly immerse ourselves in the process of getting better. All the great performers you hear from this book share the inability to best to be content. Even though they may be atop their respective fields, they remain fiercely driven to improve. We hope that you are inspired to adopt a similar mindset in your own pursuits. Throughout this book, we will cover the key principles underlying healthy, sustainable peak performance. Stress plus rest equals growth. The power of developing optimal routines and designing your day. Purpose. While we hope that you enjoy reading, the real fun begins when you lift the ink off these pages and apply the principles in your own life. Take note. None of the great performers that you hear from in this book follow an exact prescription. Rather, they took the performance principles and related practices and make them their own, adapting them to fit their unique styles and the specific demands of their activities. We encourage you to do the same. To help get you started, we've summarized on the following pages the key practices that fall under each principle. Think of this as the base of a recipe that over time you'll make your own. As you do just that, we'd love to hear about your experience. Please send us your stories and learning at info@peakperformance.email. We'll share these stories along with the latest findings in performance science in our new newsletters, which you can subscribe to by visiting www.peakperformancebook.net. It is our hope that this book is just the beginning and that we can create a community of individuals who share in common a desire to learn and improve. For us, this book represents peak performance, though it wasn't always easy. We did our best to practice what we preach. As we send you off on your own journey, we want to thank you for accompanying us on ours. Systematically grow by alternating between stress and rest. Systematically grow by alternating between stress and rest. Stress yourself. Seek out just manageable challenges in areas of your life in which you want to grow. Just manageable challenges are those that barely exceed your current abilities. If you feel fully in control, make the next challenge a bit harder. If you feel anxious or so aroused that you can focus, dial things down a notch. Cultivate deep focus and perfect practice. Define a purpose and concrete objectives each time you set out to do meaningful work. Focus and concentrate deeply, even if doing so isn't always enjoyable. Remove distractors such as smartphones. Remember that out of sight is truly out of mind. Do only one thing at a time. Next time you feel like multitasking, remind yourself that research shows it is not effective. Remember that quality trumps quantity. Work in discrete blocks. Divide your work into blocks of 50 to 90 minutes. This may vary by task. Start even smaller if you find yourself struggling to maintain attention. If this focus is new to you, start with blocks as short as 10 to 15 minutes. As you cultivate this focus practice, gradually increase the duration you go deep. For almost all activities, 2 hours should be the uppermost limit for a working block. Nurture a growth or challenge mindset. Keep in mind that how you view something fundamentally changes how your body responds to it. In situations when you feel the sensation of stress, remind yourself that this is your body's natural ways of preparing for a challenge. Take a deep breath and channel the heightened arousal and sharper perception into the task at hand. Push yourself to view stress productively and even to welcome it. You'll not only perform better but also improve your health. Have the courage to rest. Grow your mindful muscle with meditation so that you can more easily choose to rest. Find a time when other distractors are minimized, such as first thing in the morning, after brushing your teeth, or before going to bed. Sit in a comfortable position and ideally in a quiet space. Set a timer so you aren't distracted by thoughts about the passage of time. Begin breathing deeply in and out through your nose. Focus on nothing but your breath. When thoughts arise, noticing them, but then let them go. Direct your focus back to the sensation of the breath. Start with 1 minute and gradually increase duration, adding 30 minutes to 45 seconds every day when you meditate. Frequency trance duration. It's best to meditate daily, even if that means keeping individual sessions short. Apply your growing mindful muscle in everyday life. Have calm conversations during stressful periods. Remember that you aren't separate from the emotions and sensations that you are experiencing. Realize when you want to turn it off and when to choose to leave stress behind. Taking a few deep breaths helps because it activates the prefrontal cortex, your brain's commands and control center. Take smart breaks and let your subconscious go to work. When you are working on a strenuous task and hit an impasse, have the courage to step away. Step away from whatever it is you were doing for at least 5 minutes. The more stressful the task, the longer your break should be. For really draining tasks, consider stepping away until the next morning. During your breaks, perform activities that demand little or no focus. Go on a short walk, sit in nature, meditate, recover socially, listen to music, take a shower, do the dishes. You may have an aha moment of insight during your break. If you do, great. Even if you don't have an aha moment during your break, your subconscious is still at work. When you return to whatever it is you were doing, you'll be more likely to make progress. Prioritize sleep. Reframe sleep as something that is productive. Aim for at least 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night. For those doing intense physical activity, 10 hours is not too much. The best way to figure out the right amount of sleep for you is to spend 10 to 14 days going to sleep. When you are tired and waking up without an alarm clock, take the average sleep time. That's what you need. For a better night's sleep, follow these tips. Ensure you expose yourself to natural, non-electric light throughout the day. This will help you maintain a healthy circadian rhythm. Exercise. Vigorous physical activity makes us tired. When we are tired, we sleep, but we don't exercise too close to bedtime. Limit caffeine intake and phase it out completely 5 to 6 hours prior to sleep. Only use your bedtime for sleep and sex, not for eating, watching television, working on your laptop, or anything else. This one exception is reading a paper book prior to bed. Don't drink alcohol close to bedtime. Although alcohol can hasten the onset of sleep, it often disrupts the later and more important stages. Limit blue light exposure in the evening. Don't start working on hard, stressful activities, be them mental or physical, after dinner. If you struggle with a racing mind, try inserting a brief mindfulness meditation session prior to bed. When you feel yourself getting drowsy, don't fight it. Whatever you are doing, can't wait until the morning. Keep your room as dark as possible. If feasible, consider blackout blinds. Keep your smartphone out of the bedroom entirely. Not on silent, out. Try taking a nap of 10 to 30 minutes to help restore energy and focus if you hit a mid-afternoon lull. Take extended time off. Regardless of the work you do, take at least one off day every week. To the extent that you can, time your off days and vacations strategically to follow periods of accumulation and stress. The more you stress, the more you should rest. On both single off days and extended vacations, truly disconnect from work, unplug both physically and mentally, and engage in activities that you find relaxing and restorative. Prime performance. Develop warm-up regimens for important activities performances. Determine what state of mind and body your performance demands. Develop a sequence of activities that puts your mind and body in that state. Be consistent. Use the same routine each and every time you engage in the activity to which it is linked. Remember the impact of mood on performance. Positive goes a long way. Create a place of your own. Find a physical space to dedicate to unique activities. Surround yourself with objects that invite desired behavior. Consistently work in the same place using the same materials. Over time, your environment will enhance your productivity on a deep neurological level. Condition yourself to perform. Link key behaviors to specific cues or routines. Be consistent and frequent. Execute the same cue routine every time prior to the behavior to which it is paired. If possible, link key activities to the same context, time of day, physical environment, etc. If your pursuit requires variable settings, develop portable cues, routines that can be executed anywhere. Deep breathing routine, self-talk, etc. Consistency is king. The best routine means nothing if you don't regularly practice it. Design your day. Become a minimalist to be a maximalist. Reflect on all the decisions that you make throughout the day. Identify ones that are unimportant, that don't really matter to you. To the extent that you can, automate those decisions that don't really matter. Common examples include decisions about clothing, what to eat at meals, whether complete daily activities, always exercise at the same time of the day so you literally don't need to think about it. Whether to attend social gatherings is not always a good idea, but during important periods of work, many great performers adopt a strict policy of saying no to social events. Don't devote brain power to gossip, politics, or worrying about what others think of you. Consider the second and third order effects, commute, financial pressure, etc., at large life definitions, such as where to live. Match activities with energy levels. Determine your chronotype, whether you are a morning lark or night owl. Design your day accordingly. Be very intentional about when you schedule certain activities, matching the demands of the activity with your next energy level. Protect the time during which you are most alert, for the most important work. Schedule less demanding tasks during periods in which you are least alert. Don't fight fatigue. Rather, use this time for recovery and to generate creative ideas that you can act on during your next cycle of high energy and focus. Remember that working in alignment with your chronotype and not only maximizes performance, it also ensures an appropriate balance between stress and rest. Surround yourself wisely. Recognize the enormous power of the people with whom you surround yourself. Do what you can to cultivate your own village to support so that you surround yourself with a culture of performance, positive energy, motivation, and drive are all contagious. Remember that by being positive and showing motivation, you are not only helping yourself, you are also helping everyone else in your life. Don't push up with too much negativity or pessimism. A chain is only as strong as its weakest link. Show up. There is no replacement for showing up day in, day out to hone your craft. Remember that attitudes often follow behavior. Sometimes the best thing that you can do is to simply get started. Harness the power of purpose. Transcend yourself. Overcome your ego. Remember that your ego or central governor serves as a protective mechanism that holds you back from reaching you through limits. When faced with great challenges, your ego is biologically programmed to shut you down, telling you to turn into the other direction. By focusing on a self-transcending purpose or a reason for doing something beyond yourself, you can override your ego and break through your self-imposed limits. To the extent you can link your activities to a greater purpose, this way, when you are faced with formidable challenges and your mind is telling you to quit, you can ask yourself why you aren't doing it. If the answer is for someone or something greater than myself, you'll be more likely to push onward. Think less about yourself is one of the best ways to improve yourself. Enhance your motivation. Recall that you are constantly balancing perception of effort or how hard something feels with motivation. Thus, if you want to endure more effort, you may need to increase your motivation. To increase motivation, link your work to the greater purpose of our cause. Not only will focusing on activities that help the others make the world a better place, it will also help make you a better performer. Think about why you are doing what you are doing, especially when you are feeling fatigued. Give back to avoid burnout. Find opportunities to give back in the context of your work. This can be more intense activities like coaching and mentoring, or less intense acts like posting sincere advice in online forums. The only criteria is that the giving is closely linked to your work and that you give without the expectation of getting anything back. While giving is especially powerful for preventing and reversing burnout, you should still aim to avoid burnout by supporting stress with appropriate rest. Develop and harness your purpose. Develop and harness your purpose. Develop your purpose using the exercise on pages 183 to 185. Select your core values. Personalize your core values. Rank your core values. Write your purpose statement. Strategically call upon your purpose. Use visual cues to remind yourself of your purpose when you are most likely to need a boost. Develop a mantra based on your purpose and use it for self-talk when the going gets tough. Reflect on your purpose nightly, trying to experiment writing. Think about how closely you live in alignment with your purpose, striving to a more closer to the consistent alignment over time. Thank you.